Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Chaos Child. And I just wanted to inform you at this point, this could be a longer than normal part, shorter than normal, I don't know, because here's the thing. I recorded this whole part, I've done several parts after it, and for some reason, my audio wasn't working when I did this part. It didn't record me. So I started to try to like overdub it, but then I wasn't reading fast, and I was like, you know what, it's harder to just try to read as you go, and then like, you know me, we like to ramble, we like to talk. So then I'm like, I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing on it. I'm like, I'm just gonna re-record this whole part. So I know where we finished, so that this kind of flows seamlessly from the last part into this one, and then this one into the next part that's already done. I just have to go back and redo this. So that's why it might be a little bit longer, depending on if things come up and I remember maybe what I was thinking at the time, or it might be shorter if we just read through stuff. You know what I mean? So just bear with this part. It's a little wonky and weird, but I just had to do it for a whole second time. So anyway, I pinned up the information that Ito had given me. The picture of the body from the Love Hotel is, and I do remember these at least, so I don't need, that's the body from the Love Hotel, yes, okay. All right. All right. What's this? A picture I took at the Love Hotel. Huh? You took pictures? Ito almost jumped on me in shock. I nodded. More specifically, I took a frame from the video I recorded and printed it out. Oh no, I uploaded it to her private storage before the police could delete it. Seriously? Oh wow. That means that nobody has this but us. Ito put his face up to the picture in excitement. It was like this part, and I was trying to catch it. I'm like, okay, I can't read as fast, because I was trying to read it like in Adobe Premiere, like it's smaller, and I'm like, okay, I can't read as fast as I do normally when I'm trying to dub over, and I was like, we're gonna have to re-record it, so that's why we're doing this. Anyway. What? He hung himself sitting down? Is this a wire? He mumbled to himself as he stared at it, trying to memorize every last detail. What is this? What the hell happened here? Also, I'm sorry if my voice is out of whack. It was out of whack a couple parts from now. You'll hear me be like, my voice is weird and I can't talk. Obviously, I had to go back and do this because I didn't catch it for like a couple of parts until I was going to kind of edit them and like process them all. And then I'm like, and there's no sound on this. Because I think I had recorded this right after I did part 6, but it must have been like when I stopped my recording that my software just turned off the commentary. Because I usually check and make sure I can see my voice moving in the recording thing. So I just can't imagine why I didn't look, because I'm used to having to do that because it turns off the commentary every single time you close the program. Like, so it doesn't, I don't know. Like, it just won't keep my settings, so I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, so my voice is a little off right now. So just, you know, and then it'll be fine in the next, like, a part or two, and then it'll be back to being crappy. Actually, I think there's only one part after this, and then my voice is shit. Like, whatever. Anyway. As I listened to Ito speak excitedly, I looked toward Sarika. I wasn't sure why I was looking at her. But she nodded as if she understood. I nodded back. The police had told us not to tell anyone, but I didn't care. I slowly started to explain what had happened to Ito. How we'd made it into the hotel undetected. How the room we'd seen from the outside was where we found the body. How we'd gone inside and found the police officer lying on the floor. How the body in the photo was sitting on a spinning bed and slowly rotating. Also, I'm going to try not to talk about anything in this game in this part because I won't remember if it comes up in the next part or two. I think there's only 2 parts that after this that I've already done. So I don't want to be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, that's actually in the next hour or 2. So I do apologize if I spoil anything. But I think it would be like the next part of the part after that I might. So I'm just going to be very careful. So, but I apologize if I spoil anything. Because. And how there'd been another girl there and how someone had tried to enter the room. But I didn't tell him how the door had unlocked itself. The police had told me I'd imagined it, and they'd made me realize I had no proof. Between my curiosity and my fear, I'd been a mess at the time anyway, and more than anything, without any kind of proof, I wasn't sure it had happened at all. When I finished, Ito's first questions were the same as mine had been. So there was a girl at the scene, and then someone tried to come into the room? The girl was real, but they couldn't find any evidence of someone trying to come into the room, could they? That was right. That was what the police had told me. But I heard the knocking, and I have the sound on my video. Just the sound, right? That doesn't prove that someone was on the other side of the door knocking. No, I mean, logically you're right, but I'm sure someone was on the other side. Ito cut me off, clearly irritated. Logically I'm right? You're the one who's always telling me that logic is the only thing that matters, idiot. Yeah. Don't call me an idiot. Idiot. Just feel like that would... Don't call me an idiot, idiot. Or like, don't call me an idiot, stupid. Don't call me stupid, jackass. Don't call me a jackass, asshole. Just gonna keep going. I just prefer to cover all my bases. Let's start with what we know for sure, right? Damn it. He can only say that because he hadn't heard it in person. That strange, eerie sound which hung in the depths of your ears and wouldn't let go. But that was true. I guess he's right, yeah. I hadn't seen for myself someone trying to enter the room. Maybe he took my silence as agreement. So about this woman who was there. No, that's why you're asking about his girlfriend? She was more a girl than a woman. I see I can't do her voice right now. Huh? A girl? I think she was probably around my age, and I don't think she was older. She was the same age or a year or two younger, maybe? Maybe. I wasn't sure, but if Sarika said so, she was probably right. Sarika never had any evidence or proof for her statements, but she was often correct. There was nothing about her in the news, was there? I looked back at Ito to check. Yeah, I checked everything from gossip magazines to the official newspaper announcements. I even took a look at the aggregator wiki, but there was nothing like that. I see. Which means we'll have to look for her ourselves, I guess. I flipped through the remaining papers. Any other clues? There was something I noticed when I was going back through the footage. This one's nice and logical. I've got real proof after all. The sticker, I think. You're a petty little man, aren't you? Say what you like. It was finally time to tell Ito what I'd found. Where's that image I made yesterday that had a nice picture of the sticker? And then I'm like, yeah, the sticker, right? And I was like, ooh, maybe that hasn't happened yet. Like, shit. You know what else? Do you know what this is? Ito looked at the picture for a moment, uncertain. I've seen that before. Where was it? He used his Pokegum to run a search. I think the one on the right was the one outside the hotel. Because the left one, I think, is outside the karaoke thing. Yeah, that's a sumo wrestler sticker, right? Yep, that's what they call it, or sumo sticker for short. No one knows who's putting them up or why. There are a lot of theories about where they came from, but the first time they really showed up on the net was in 2007. At one point, they were famous enough that the TV stations were reporting on them, but after the 2009 Shibuya quake, everyone stopped talking about them. The city where the stickers were going up had been destroyed. People had bigger things to talk about. But starting sometime last year, they'd started to appear in Shibuya again. There are a lot of different rumors about what they are. Of course, some people say they're just a prank. Others say there's some kind of tagging or spiritual barrier of some sort. Also, I think we're going to miss the... Yeah, because, like, we might... Because we've already done... We're going to miss the glossary sections in this hour. I totally forgot. Because we've already done them. But I remember tagging being one. So, tagging, the act of painting the mark of an individual or symbol on a wall or on public property. Marks painted in this way are called tags, sometimes considered a kind of street art. Since the vast majority of taggers don't get permission for their work, tagging is often a crime. If I remember when some come up, don't mind the other ones because those come up in later parts. But if I remember, I'll try to click because I'm guessing it comes up because tagging, which was obviously the glossary section in this, but I'm not sure if I'm going to remember each one if there was one, or if there were more than that one. So sorry, but nothing I can do there. One of the stranger ones is a theory that it's actually a sumo wrestler putting up stickers of his own face. But I don't think that's right. They call these things sumo wrestler stickers, but that's just because the man in them has a fat face. There's no actual proof that they're modeled after a sumo wrestler. Hold it for a second. Ito cut me off just as I was getting started. Come on, man, it was just about to get good. Who cares? Do these stickers have anything to do with the case? I don't know. Huh? I still don't know, but... The sticker placed near the scene of Don't Look at Me was... Wait, Don't Look at Me... Oh, is the first one. Okay. That's this one. The other one's the Love Hotel. This is Don't Look at Me. Okay. That was the dude with the arm. Right. Okay. And this is a blown-up version of the picture I showed you from the Don't Look at Me case. It's the wall outside the karaoke place I went to. Is that a sumo sticker? Yeah, it's a little blurry, but I'm sure of it. Wait, you're not telling me... Yep, there was one near the Love Hotel, too. Placed at a spot where I could see the crime scene. Then what? What about leaky noise? No, I don't know about that yet. I looked yesterday and couldn't find anything at the scene of the incident, but... We just learned that if something happens twice, it's worth betting on, right? Ito fell silent as if he was thinking about something. Aw. I was hoping he'd be a little more surprised. But I guess that's the best I could expect. Or maybe there was too much new information coming in at once for him to keep up. By the way, the incident that occurred 6 years ago on the same date was, crucified, so... Okay, I know which one that one is. Okay, hold on. That's this one. Because that other one is like... Yeah. And here's the summary of the case. Which we don't get to read, so... Are we making a pattern here? I'm just waiting to, like... For now, the dates match, but the actual cases don't seem to have much to do with what happened 6 years ago. Don't Look at Me happened on the same day as the group dive, but was only one victim, and we don't know for sure that it was a suicide. But it was a bloody mess. The pregnant man happened on the same day as Leaky Noise, but while both of them involved something stuffed into the stomach, the victim in the latter was a girl, but something was stuffed into the stomach. There you go. I don't see anything in common between Crucified and the Love Hotel incident. Well, Crucified, he was, like, hung up with knives, and that one he was kind of propped up with wire. Close enough. I mean, I'm just grasping at straws here. But again, all of them, and I think I said this before, I don't think this is spoilery, because this is my theory. Like, the Don't Look at Me guy was like, oh, he's psychic. The Leaky Noise girl was like, oh, I have a magic voice. You know, so it's kind of like that's the sci-fi supernatural aspect is like, they all have some kind of like magical abilities, which maybe was because of the earthquake. You know what I mean? Like if it was like some weird government conspiracy, because we know from watching the earthquake in the very beginning, there's all the weird lights that popped up, and we are like, Taco even mentions it, like, oh, a bunch of people saw lights, like weird lights, you know, before the earthquake. So the earthquake doesn't seem like a natural event, kind of. So, I mean, I'm sure that's part of the mystery that we'll figure out. But so that's why they all have in common. So I'm wondering if all the people in the New Generation Madness all had like weird special abilities. It's kind of sucky because we can't play Chaos Head, you know, because I'm pretty sure it was like on PS2 or something. So... You know, it's not like we can go from that. Well, in that one, it was like supernatural. So this, you know what I mean? Like, we have nothing to go on. So, just theories. Anyway. So since we can't find any other way to proceed with the case, I think we should try seeing where the sumo stickers take us. But, maybe I was overthinking this, but there was no telling what else would be related to the case. Just in case, I decided to put up the data on the other New Generation incidents from 6 years ago. October 10th, Vampire... That looks disturbing. That guy's like in a porta potty or some shit. And he looks green. October 23rd, Brain Dead. October 28th, Yummy Hand. Ugh. November 4th, the DQN puzzle. Yeah, that should do it. I looked at the board and nodded in satisfaction. And it's not even like they're taking place in the same area, you know? Again, it's just magical abilities that I'm guessing we don't know that these people have yet. Or, well, because, like, they would keep it secret. Nobody knows about it. We, as the player, know, but, like, we, character, don't know. Anyway, that's about all we know for now. Who wants coffee? I wish I could do her voice, God. As I finished going over the information, Sarika got some cups ready. Oh, no. Kazuki had been ignoring the conversation until I suddenly stood up. She grabbed the cups from Sarika with a speed you'd never believe she possessed. It's fine, Hana. You always make us stuff to drink, right? Kazuki shook her head rapidly from left to right in the motion for Sarika to sit down. Good work. Oh no, it's fine. She's being nice enough to make it for us. I practically forced Sarika to sit down in her chair. What? But... No, there was no way I was letting Sarika do any kind of cooking. How bad was she? She was so bad that I couldn't let her make coffee. She was so bad she'd once asked me what kind of dish you used to wash the vegetables. I breathed a sigh of relief as she reluctantly sat down. Wondering if... That one, because it's like dish you. Wait, what? Dish what? So I was like, huh? I'm not really sure what they're trying to say there, but... Even Kazuki was relieved enough that you could actually tell what she was feeling for once. She started to make the coffee. I turned around to see if Ito needed any. Still deep in thought. He was still thinking. He must have been thinking hard. He didn't even seem to notice that Sarika was making coffee, which normally would have been cause for panic. I decided for now to put the coffee that Kazuki had made in front of him. He seemed to understand the situation and stretched out his hand. Hey, you still got that footage of the hotel room, right? Yeah, it's on my Pokécom and smartphone. I deleted all the other copies for safety reasons. Ito glared at my Pokécom for a moment and then turned towards me. Let me see it. I wasn't sure what to do. He must have been able to sense my uncertainty. Did the cops tell you not to tell anyone what happened? Yeah, but no, that's not the issue. I've already told you what happened, for one thing. It's more like... I don't know, if you see this... In a TV show or a movie, this is where the hero would say, there's no going back. Undergoing a shocking event changed the way you felt about the rest of your life. When you learned a hidden secret, it changed you. Just like when I learned about my parents. It's a go. Let me see it. Ito saw that I was hesitating and cut me off. You saw it in person, right? I want to see it too. I'm sorry. It didn't seem like he was going to change his mind. Okay. Alright, let's look at it on the computer monitor. It'll be easy to see on the bigger screen, right? Sarika, the only person who didn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation, spoke up. Or maybe she just didn't think it was important. There is a difference between seeing something in person and seeing it on a tape, or a video. Even if you know that that person literally was there and took the video, you can still be like, really good editing skills and Hollywood level effects, man. You can deny it in your head. But when you see it in real life, you're like, it's a little bit harder to deny. After the fact, denial. But in the moment, you're like, you try to deny it. It's easier to deny a video than it is to deny, happening in front of you. You know what I mean? Anyway. Shin's a club member, right? He has to see it. Yeah. Oh, that's Ito. Yeah. Sorry. Ito smiled as if he'd relaxed a little. He brought his hands up to his cheeks and gave them a slap to psych himself up. Okay, we can copy it to the desktop for now. I'll shut down this browser. And then he froze. Huh? Huh? Shit, look at this. Ito pointed to the monitor, his voice shaking. Sarika and I hurried behind him to see what he was looking at. I think I know what this is. And gulped. What is this video? I don't know, it just showed up on the aggregator wiki. The curtains opened and the man appeared. Yeah, okay. There was no mistaking it. It was that room in the Love Hotel. The man must have been Kikita. I couldn't see her face, but was that the girl? had to be her. Her clothes matched what I remembered. Hey, what the hell? This is when we were there, because his head's almost completely turned around. The bed spun around and the wire dug into Kakita's neck, and it looked like it was blinking. And there was no sound in the video, but I could hear the sound of the wire in the music box in my mind. Kakita's face took on a color very similar to what I'd seen in person, and the footage ended. What the hell is this? Are you kidding me? Hey, Miyashiro! I almost jumped off the ground. Oh, sorry. The hell is this? Did you make this video? Ito yelled at me hysterically. I quickly shook my head. Of course not. I was inside the room. What the hell is it? Bitch, slap him. There's no time for getting hysterical. I don't know. How would I? Sarika's hand suddenly stretched out. Hey, what are you doing? Stop. Calm down. Taku, Shin, no fighting. She grabbed us both by the cheek and pinched. Hard. I love how she attacks both of us when, Shinji's the one who's freaking being like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Did you do that? I didn't fucking do anything. But she's blaming us for fighting. I didn't start this. I'm not even involved in this. This is on Ito. Ow! That really hurts. Did you calm down? No more yelling? No more fighting? This is really painful. Please stop. Ito and I nodded and Sarika let go. Phew. What was that for? Because you two were yelling. I mean, you can't just... Ito rubbed his cheek and gave Sarika an angry glare. She must have grabbed him really hard because I could see a red mark forming in the shape of her hand. Did that mean I had one of those too? No fighting! You two look like you were about to start hitting each other, you know? Sarika repeated. She didn't seem to think she'd done anything wrong at all. No, maybe she hadn't. Kazuki gave Sarika a thumbs up. Fucking love her. I really do want her to start talking at some point, but also if she never talks and just goes, it's just fucking funnier. I don't know. Yep. Sarika gave her a satisfied thumbs up in return. Oh, also, if we have to make any positive, negative choices, I'm not going to remember which one we made. I don't know. I didn't get it. You know, you're going to be the kind of mom who says hitting is wrong as she beats up her kid. Ito's words impressed me. It was one of the most accurate predictions I'd heard in years. Sarika frowned and said that she'd never do that. So anyway, what is this? She pointed to the monitor. She didn't seem too bothered by it. She must have been used to seeing gory videos because she looked pretty calm. I rubbed my cheek as I looked on. This is being filmed from outside, right? Yeah, so the site is an aggregator for the... Okay, so I don't think there was anything on the outside. No, top page connection. I think, all the phone interviews, unconfirmed information, about Otani's fortune telling, right there, that's kind of, intraday, relationship to new generation madness. Love Hotel hanging incident, public suicide, yeah. Live streamer suicide, leaky noise, street musician, public suicide, everyone's thinking they're things. But, it's interesting that they have, Otani's fortune telling. Because, he was, you know what I mean? Even he said it, and that was, the first thing. Oh, yeah, he says all these psychic kind of things. So, I wonder if, people on the wiki are out there oh, my God, maybe, if he's so good at seeing the future, he should have seen his death coming. I'm just saying. It's definitely the room you're in. I nodded, a little uncertain. I'm pretty sure that the body was like that too. Shit, what is this? Hey, shouldn't we save that file? Yeah, you're right. There's no telling when it'll be deleted. That was enough to bring Ito back to his senses. He saved the file to the PC with a slightly more unsteady hand than usual. Kazuki was still playing her game, but the rest of us stared at the download bar as it filled up little by little. And when it finished and the file was saved... This wasn't just somebody playing a prank, right? Sarika knew better than anyone else that it was no such thing, but she asked anyway. I nodded firmly. Hey, who took this? Wait, who posted it? Ito frowned. I'm no hacker. All we amateurs could figure out, at best, is the IP address, right? There's no way we could use that to track him down. You're right. Sometimes the media would say that the police use an IP address to track down a criminal's address, but strictly speaking, that wasn't quite right. Under some special circumstances, like a customer paying for a static address, it was possible, but most of the time you couldn't track down an individual PC from an IP address. And even if you could, the most you could track down was a PC, not a person. Several years ago, this has led to a very famous false arrest case. What the heck were we supposed to do now? I scratched my head, confused. Hey, while we're at it, let's look at the other one. Huh? The video you took of the Love Hotel. I already saw the last one. I don't think anything could bother me now. You haven't heard that fucking knocking, Ito. Ito sounded like he was having a hard time believing what he'd seen was real. See again, he's like, ah, it's not real. Blocking it out. He'd already copied the file off the Pokecom and gone to open it. He probably was just overwhelmed. I know that was how I'd been. I took it up close, so it's pretty brutal. I gave him a warning and he responded with a firm nod. He clicked on the file. Shin, are you sure? Yeah, probably. I think she was a humanities student. Ito was moving at a quick pace. His expression was serious, but he was having trouble hiding his excitement. Oh, fuck, we do have a choice. I think I know what I made. Is that really possible? Come on, it's true, man! We were following Ito down the hallway quickly. After seeing the video of the room at the Love Hotel, he'd said, I know this girl. He'd said that he knew the girl who'd been in the room with us. That couldn't be true. Sarek and I had insisted he was mistaken, but Ito wouldn't listen. I saw her at a club leaders meeting, I think. Even if he was right, the club leaders meeting was where all the leaders of the school clubs and teams got together. She was there. Did that mean she was a leader in some club? I asked Ito, but he just smirked a little. We don't know that. Our president at the newspaper club is terrible at talking to groups of people, and our vice president was in charge of the meeting itself. So I had to go even though I'm just an ordinary member. Maybe there's someplace else like that. Rubbing it in our face. I'm not terrible at it. I didn't like it. It made me nervous. Being in front of all those people, I mean. And everybody knows those meetings never actually lead to anything productive. If you made a movie out of one of them, no one would go see it. You just what? Forget it. And anyway, where are you going? Here? Ito suddenly stopped. It was the student council room on the 6th floor of the annex building. Why? They got pictures of all the club members in here. It'll be faster than searching the whole school, right? Wait a second. I pulled Ito away from the door. You idiot! What if Caruso is in here? Ito gave me a little moan. If that happens, you just try and fool her somehow. If I was even remotely capable of that, we wouldn't need... Excuse me! Oh no, I ignored us completely and walked right into the room. Damn, now what? We just have to pray she wasn't here. I mean... Huh? Our eyes met and I suddenly forgot how to breathe. Okay, so here's the thing. I had started kind of giving her a voice here. I think we gave her a voice when she was in the police station or whatever. But she had a voice here, and then later in, like, one of the other parts where we have to voice her again, it's different. So, like, her voice is going to be all over the place for the next few parts. Just be aware. Also, because my voice is broken. But I haven't quite gotten in a groove with her yet, so. Why? Also, I can't get in a groove with anybody's voice at the moment. So the next, well, this part, It's going to be weird because, again, we had to backtrack to re-record this. The next part will be fine. I think the part after that, this is part 7, right? 8, I think, is fine. 9, I think we started having voice issues, and then the parts after that will be like up. So, I mean, that's like my voice is just busted, so. I'm sorry. Oh, it makes me yawn because it hurts. It was that girl. I'm pretty sure I chose negative. Here's my problem. If we chose positive and when we come back to skip through and do the other choices, well, we're going to see them all multiple times because we'll have to. Yeah, I want to make sure you see it. You know what I mean? Because, well, anyway, I'm pretty sure I chose negative here. So what was she doing here? Just because, you know what I mean?
Takuru, what brings you three here?
That's not her voice either, but I can't quite do her Valley Girl voice. I can't do any of the voices. Okay, we got it. Oh no. The girl stared at us suspiciously. And then for the first time, she realized that I couldn't take my eyes off her.
What's wrong with you people?
Oh, the words wouldn't come out. What do I say? Why was she here? Why was she acting so normal? Trigger! I'm pretty sure this is what I did. We'll find out. Without warning, the girl started to laugh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what I did the last time.
I finally found you. I found you.
She's cute when she's maniacally laughing. Everyone froze. Even Kurusu seemed uncertain of what to do as she stared at the girl. The girl jammed her hand inside her pocket, and she took out a butterfly knife. She pointed the blade right at me.
Takuru Miyashiro, it's time for you to die.
Was she really a murderer then? Look, she just looks like, oh, sorry, bro, gonna have to kill you. I tried to run, turn around and run right out of the room. But unfortunately, Ito was in my way. Fucking Ito gets us stabbed. I ran straight into him and fell backwards to the ground. Crap! Alarm bells were going off in my head. Run, 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 run! Get off the ground and run! That's a disturbing CG.
Gotcha.
I felt something cold against my neck.
Bye-bye.
Then came the pain. I felt strangely detached and indifferent as I watched the blood spurt out of my own neck. Even though I knew it was just something I had imagined, it still gave me goosebumps. Wait for it. Something like that could really happen right now. She's not going to stab us, but I just wanted sorry, spoiler, but like obviously you knew the delusion, right? Anybody to give me an explanation.
Nan, do you know her?
Sarika motioned toward the girl.
Huh? Yeah, she's Hanae Arimura. She's a second year who leads the literature club. Oh, hello.
Look at her pointy fucking teeth. The girl bowed to us. Are you friends of Kurusu's?
Yes, that's Shinjo Ito and Sarika Inoue. He's in third year and she's in second year. They're both in the newspaper club. And that's Takuru Miyashiro, the club president, my little brother and a boy who doesn't know his place.
Kurusu's eyes narrowed as she glared at me. He's your brother? But your last name's...
From an orphanage, you see. Huh. So you're siblings, but not actually related, huh? Sounds kind of naughty, doesn't it?
This, I'm surprised, was not the positive. Like, let's go to a positive delusion. Oh, siblings.
Please don't act like this is some kind of novel.
It's a visual novel, bitch.
But still, doesn't it seem kind of naughty?
She asked with a wink. So even right now, I can't get her voice down. I can't figure out what I'm doing with her. Anyway, what? Like, what? Why? What are you doing here? I wiped my sweaty hands on my pants and tried to ignore my pounding heart. What are you doing? She's mad. Damn it. Get the words out! Takuru? Sarika seemed to understand what I was trying to say and finished my sentence for me. What are you doing here, Arimura? Huh? I was talking to Karusu about the culture festival. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'll be going, I guess. Sorry, Karusu. Karusu waved a hand and told her not to worry. If you can't do it, you can't. I'll tell the teachers at the Literature Club we'll be participating in the culture festival, but... Yes? You're absolutely sure you can't tell me what's going on, right? We girls have our secrets, you know? All right, but I won't be able to help you next year, okay? All right, bye-bye. The girl put her bag on her shoulder and bowed to us, then went to leave. Wait. I still haven't asked you about the things I need to. Her name, it was... Arimura! My voice was loud enough that I made her jump a little. It scared me. You've got a lot of energy. Oh, sorry. No, it's fine. What is it? I'm sorry I was so loud. I mean, no, listen, my face was turning red from nervousness. Damn it! This is always what happened the first time I talked to someone. Actually, I think this is the first time you talked to a girl. What should I ask? Oh, fuck, what did I do this time? Oh, shit, I don't know. In the hotel. Shit, I don't remember what I did this time. The hotel? I think I might have done positive. Hold on. I'm gonna pause for a second. I'll be right back. I want to check and see what I did. I want to make sure I do the same things just so that, like, you know, later if we're skipping through and we change them, you get to see both and I don't have to remember that this was a weird, you know what I mean? But I remember the first one. I don't remember this one. Let me check. I'll be right back. Okay, we did positive the second time around. I know I've been trying to go back positive, negative, but every once in a while it's like, I think we did negative, but I'm going to do negative for this one. So, yeah. So I think because I had done negative for the last one, I did positive this time. But anyway. The hotel? What were you doing in that hotel? A moment. I felt like her body moved for just a moment. I think I remember what happens here. So. Arimura? I could see Kurusu frown in the corner of my eye. She was looking at me. Her expression hadn't changed, but for some reason it felt like she was looking me over. And then she smiled. Do you want to know? Well, just as I spoke, she leaned over and whispered in my ear. Then why don't we go together next time? Huh? What did she say? It's a secret between me and Miyashiro. I can't do her voice. I considered that as a possibility, but quickly abandoned it. I couldn't imagine her doing something like that after what I'd seen at the hotel. Something much worse was going on there. An awkward silence ensued as we waited for her to answer. So you were the Hekio student who came into the room? Her tone of voice was perfectly normal. There was no surprise or anger, just a flat, level tone. But somehow that struck me as much worse. Can you say that aloud for me? Were you the one who went into that room? What? I think at this point I was like, does she have a fucking wiretap on her? Because it's like, can you say Takuru Miyashiro that you were the one who went in that room? Leans really close and puts her boobs very close to you. Like, I don't know. It just seems sus, right? I don't know. That's right. Just FYI, that has not been confirmed or denied in any part that I've done. But I remember thinking that when she's like, could you say that? Why? Or she has some weird magical abilities too. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's weird. I see. I couldn't tell if she cared or not. So what were you doing in that hotel? I heard the door opened on its own and that's how you got in. Is that true? Huh? The door? The door opened on its own? She knew about that? I nodded. Can you say that aloud? Huh? It's true. It opened from the inside.
I see.
And then she seemed to be looking me over again. What was going on here?
Arimura, is there something... Anyway, goodbye.
Arimura ignored Kurusu's question and went to leave. Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, no need to be so polite. I'm younger than you, and...
You're gonna be killed, Takuru Miyashiro. Those were her last words before she left the room. She didn't seem at all surprised that I had questioned her, but I froze solid. I like how it just ends there. It's like, oh, okay, anyway. Ebisu loves cats. Club president, where's the truth? The searcher of the real world. Palace and castle. I'm reading the stuff on the left-hand side. Trends, change, new generation, Shibuya murders, episode 7, commentary, speaking. Now, thank you, Moe Moe Kyun. My greatest failure, we are. I don't know what any of those are. Because, like, some of them, like, new generation, Shibuya murders, but then there's, like, my greatest failure, and then we are... What? Anyway. Ebisu loves cats. Who put this on Hachiko? Lol. Creepy AF. Well, that's a sumo sticker, isn't it?
It actually looks kind of cute.
Congrats on 500 retweets. What the heck is this thing? And then I guess that's a retweet. Who put this on Hachiko? Lol. Twippo.com. I'm like, they're at like the is Wyatt for owl. Owl? There's an owl. I'm just trying to figure out what their name is. Anyway. Sumo Woofer. Congrats on 1,000 retweets. Give me a break. I loved Hachiko, but I don't care about this creepy dog. And then, okay, another retweet. What's up with this thing? Cute, huh? This is hilarious. Retweet. Okay, so that's basically it. Anyway, so that's that. Oh yeah, and there's nothing. No, Twippo about Tweeter stuff. Okay, so there was nothing else. All right. It won't let you skip unless you scroll all the way down. October 2nd, 2015, Friday. At the same time, Dogonzaka, Shibuya. The sky had been overcast all day, and now it had finally begun to rain. Some of the news media that had been swarming around the Love Hotel decided it was a good time to go home. Others just took refuge in their vans, frowning. Meanwhile, Shinjo's mind raced as quickly as the men trying to flee the storm. What's going on here? Oh, that's him. What's going on here? Everything had started right after midnight. Hinai Arimura, the Hekiho girl, had refused to give her name until he'd relayed Momose's message to her. But as soon as she heard it, her attitude changed. His only choice now was to continue to do everything Momose's kid told him to do. The first thing she'd said was that there was almost no chance Arimura was the killer, and that it was safe to let her go. The second thing she said was that it would be smarter to let her go and see what she did. The third thing she said was that even if he did get some answers out of her, he wouldn't be able to make sense of them. Shinjo had used every bit of his authority to get her released. He'd been forced to suck up to some people he really didn't like, and in the end, she'd be monitored and questioned by the police daily. Sorry, my sound is fucked up in my ear. Since they hadn't known if she had anything to do with Kakita's death, they'd used her assault on the police officer to bring her in. I mean, that's the funniest part right there, right? They didn't know if she had anything to do with his death, so they brought her in because of her assault on the police officer. But he had to use all of his authority to get her released. Like, they think she had something to do with the murder, but he basically just says she had nothing to do with Kakita's death. But they had to bring her in based on that. But she was at the scene of a murder, so even if they were like, I don't think she did anything, they still would have brought her in for questioning. You know what I mean? Like, you were at the scene of a murder, we have to bring you in, tell us what happened. If they want to hold her for the assault on the police officer, fine. But it makes it sound like, I mean, she was at the scene of a murder, but like, we had to use her assault on the officer to kind of get her in. That's the only way we had to like fly under the radar. That's the only way we could get her into the station to question her. But then I have to fight to get her released because she had nothing to do with the murder and we knew that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so weird the way it's phrased. Like, you know, it was one thing. They wanted to hold her because she assaulted the police officer and was at the scene of a murder and he had to do everything, but he just kind of contradicts himself there. It's just really weird. Like, either way, last evening marked 48 hours since her arrest. They had to decide whether to let her go or seek a warrant for detention. And then that's it too. He has to do everything in his power to have her let go, and he had to like suck up to bad people, but they have to decide to let her go or seek a warrant for detention. So they were gonna fucking let her go anyway, but he had to jump through hoops for that? Like, none of that makes any sense. I mean, I fought to get her released, even though, you know, their time is up and they have to let her go or arrest her, and they're not gonna arrest her, so they had to let her go, but I had to kiss ass to have her let go, even though her time was up? Because it doesn't make any sense. They hadn't found any physical evidence connecting her to Kakita's murder, and Arimura herself said, I don't remember anything. I don't remember her voice. She's all over the place for now. That was all she'd said, in fact. Provisional release at this point felt like a bit of a stretch of his authority, but it was a sensible decision. If anything here wasn't sensible, it was the fact that he was doing everything Momose's acquaintance asked of him. He didn't have a plan to follow. This was the first time that had happened, he thought. He only managed to be successful at his age around what Momose called the hardheads in Section 1. He only managed to be successful at his age around what Momose had called the hardheads in Section 1 was that he knew how to be flexible. Again, that sentence doesn't quite make sense. You get what it's saying, but it was worded weird. Hold on a second. The reason that many police officers could be stubborn and hard-headed was that most of the time, that was how you solved a case. Shinjo understood that the rules they clung to so fiercely, both written and unwritten, were the product of valuable experience. But he also understood that the unorthodox methods his senior detective friend had taught him were a weapon in their own right. Even if the higher-ups didn't like him using them, they'd brought him success. One good example was the time the profilers had told them that the person behind a string of assaults was a man in his 20s who never left his house. He'd found out that the culprit was actually a runaway girl in her late teens who lived in a net cafe. He'd matched the internet logs that Section 1 had gathered with the data held by the Social Safety Section, a group that was on notoriously bad terms with Section 1. In the end, he'd cracked the case by logging onto an online game and tracking down several of its players, including the girl behind the attacks. Shinjo was, if nothing else, confident that he was capable of not letting preconceptions keep him from making the best choice. But this time, not only did he not know what was the best choice, he didn't even know if the choices he was making were good or bad. This is ending up just like Momose said it would. If he couldn't change things fast, he might end up taking off the case. He looked at his watch and realized something. The man he was waiting for wasn't here. It had cost him quite a bit to get permission to show him the crime scene, and he was over 30 minutes late. Momose had said that there was no way I could miss him. He didn't know what he looked like, but there was no way the officer standing guard outside could miss him. Hey, wait, you! He heard a loud voice from the hallway. Shinjo decided that before he let him into the scene, he'd give him a lecture about his tardiness. I knew what was coming because I played this part already, but he stopped, surprised. And this is other girl on the back of our cover. So this is our other girl we were waiting for. So a girl? He didn't expect to see what he saw. Also, her uniform kind of looks like ours. So I'm wondering, I don't know, but I'm wondering if she's a student too. He didn't expect to see what, I mean, obviously all the girls are going to be teenage girls, but I'm wondering if she's a Hekio student too. He didn't expect to see what he saw. I mean, the uniform looks pretty much the same. He'd convinced himself that anyone weird enough to want to see a crime scene had to be a guy. But she looked like she'd been very pretty with makeup on, and even if she wore none now, a frown was plastered on her face and her long hair was half-heartedly tied behind her back. And she was wearing a white lab coat, but under it was a uniform? And isn't that... Okay, it is. I forgot that he confirmed it was. Never mind. That uniform was for Hekio Academy. The same school Arimura and the two kids who'd snuck into the crime scene attended. That just seems really, you're like, these fucking kids at that school. Shinjo motioned to the officers to let her pass and remembered the last name he'd been given by Momose. Are you Kunasato? Kuno. Not Kuna, but Kuno. Yeah, I leave it to you all, so you don't need confirmation. Huh? There's no time to waste, as you know. Yeah. Well, I gotta nurse this dumb cop. Okay, later, Chris. And then she hung up the phone and glared at Shinjo. She showed no signs of apologizing for her lateness or gawking at the scene of a murder. This was her. It had to be. When he saw how arrogantly she was behaving, he knew immediately that this had to be the Kunosato, that person that Momose had told him about. Look, he's like, what? Why you call me dumb? He looked so sad. He felt a little overwhelmed by her, but tried to make his voice as strong as he could. Are you Kunosato? Knowing Momose, I figured I'd be ready for anything. But I can't let a young girl into a crime scene. Don't act normal when you're surrounded by things that aren't normal. Didn't she tell you that would get in your way? Neo. Hey! She ignored Shinjo's words and walked right past him. She stepped right on top of the numbered plates that forensics had put in the ground to identify the locations of evidence. Then she looked at the blinds placed on the window to stop the media from looking inside, and stopped. Shinjo felt himself becoming annoyed at her attitude, particularly what she'd just said about him in English. Dumb cop or not, you're gonna do what I tell you. Right now, people think that every corpse is dead. Huh? You've got ears that can understand English and you don't watch Fincher? Okay. Fictional David Fincher, an American movie director. The line Kunosato said is from the hit psychological suspense movie 8. That amused me the first time, too. What's in the box? She put her hand up to the blind that she'd been looking at. Yeah, he's saying that all fucking day now. What are you doing? I'm asking if you really think this room is the only crime scene in this case. She kept her eyes on the exposed window. I forget the voice I gave her the first time around, but it was better than this. Everything's better than this right now, because we sound like we have no voice anyway. As she tossed him a Pokécom she'd fished out of her pocket. Shinjo grabbed it without thinking and looked down at it. He was stunned. It was footage of the room he was in right now. That was probably Kakita dead in Hinai Orimura. What is this? A video that was just uploaded to the web? Her answer made Shinjo feel pissed off at everything, including himself. Why didn't he notice? Why did he have to be shown this by a girl who'd he just met? From outside the window? He grabbed onto the window frame, looking for the spot where the video had been recorded. But all he saw was the external wall of the building, slick with rain. There was only some kind of strange, creepy sticker there. Hey! Shinjo yelled out into the hallway. The officer outside heard the tone of his voice and rushed inside. Shinjo pointed at the window and said, "Seal off the building next door right now and get me forensics, and then track down where this video..." I don't know about the video, but you're probably not going to find anything next door. There's no sign of a camera having been placed on that wall. Huh? I copied the data at the security entrance, and Frisia's team is going over it. But we're not going to find anything, probably. I hope not. She must have been enjoying this, because Kunosato's frown twisted into a mischievous bully's expression. I love her. Again, he didn't understand. He didn't have time for this. He ignored her and ordered his men to seal the building, call forensics, and track down where that video was filmed. When that finished, he turned back to her. Is that why you were late? Focus on securing the scene. Achan picked up on the video right after it was posted, and it was uploaded only 40 minutes ago. Already more than 5,000 people have seen it. You don't think any of them are with those media people down below? Wait, you can't! This is Watabe with Nickeneer News. I'd like your comment on... He's got to be so ostentatious, you know, anyway. Deciphering reporter. I'm with Coyote TV. I'd like to ask you about... Get out! No pictures! He could hear yelling coming from the hallway. Damn it. That net reporter again. She's like over this shit. I love her. Shinjo ran into the hallway, infuriated. Are you with Section 1? Did you see the video? Please don't come in without permission. We have no comment. No pushing. Poor cop. Did you see it or not? No comment. He saw it, guys. He totally saw it. Kunisada was still looking outside the window as she listened to the commotion in the hallway. She stuck her hands in her pockets and stared at the sticker on the opposite wall the way a person on top of a tall building stares down at the tiny people on the street below. Hey, how does it feel? The sticker pictured two ugly, overlapping faces. The rain made it look like they were crying. If there was any witnesses, it's you, right? If there was any witness, sorry. Kunisada smirked like a fighter facing down a worthy opponent. And I don't remember where, because I think it was in this part where, like, I was like, there's a little dot on his head. Maybe that's a tiny little camera. That was my theory right there. Because I think we talk about that in the next parts. Because, like, you know what I mean? They keep focusing on the stickers, and I was like, that tiny little dot could be a freaking, maybe that's a camera. So I'm just saying that again so that later, you know. But again, if I said something in this part originally, and then later I'm like, blah, 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 and we said, and you're like, wait, when did you say that? It was probably in this part the first time around, so. Or, sorry. Kunisada smirked like a fighter facing down a worthy opponent. She's awfully fixated on it too. You know, I'm just saying. It's at the right angle to be looking in. October 2nd, 2015, Friday. Time passed. It was now almost midnight. Under a bridge in Shibuya, we're almost to where we stopped, so. She walked with her head down so that others could see her strange face. She was dragging her legs so her body tilted a little. She didn't have an umbrella, so the rain that had fallen that evening made her long bangs cling to her forehead. Water dripped off of them. The eerie eyes that poked out from between her locks of hair looked like those of an animal hunting its prey. No one was moving but her. I was wondering if she was going to be like the next victim, but like it's October 2nd, and I don't think the next one happens till the 10th, right? Normally there would be people here at this hour, but the town left her alone as if it had sensed something. I'm just curious about this character. Or like this person that they're referencing, because like she disappeared into an alley without anyone else noticing her. Because that's it. It was several minutes later when they appeared there. A girl less than 10 years old and an old woman well over 70. The old woman might have been blind because she carried a stick and had her hand on the girl's shoulder. And the little girl was carrying something far too big for her tiny frame. Neither of them were carrying umbrellas and both were soaking wet. They walked at a slow pace. Perhaps they knew the path well, or perhaps they simply didn't care, because they paid no attention to anything around them. Of course, it's curious, because I'm like, what's the deal with all those people that they just mentioned, right? You know what I mean? And then, for the first time, the little girl saw something and stopped. The old woman stopped as well, and the only sound in the alley was the sound of the rain. The girl stood there for a full minute. Eventually, she turned her head and led the older woman away. All that was left was the rain. And the things on the wall. This game is so good, though, because as moments like this, you're like, oh, that was up there. And the things on the... And these just appear, and you're like, it's a little fucking spooky. It's kind of cool. You're like, oh. Spooktastic. All right, so this is where we stopped. So this is where we're going to stop here. And then, like I said, the next part, I've already recorded before redoing this one, so my voice will be normal. And then I'm pretty sure part 9, my voice is jacked up because I did this after that. I think that's it. So just be prepared from part 9 on for a little while. My voice is going to sound like this. But the next part, it'll be fine. Like, it's just So this is like a weird one-off thing, but yeah, so we'll continue on, and hopefully there wasn't too many things that I like theorized or came up with in this part that didn't get in there. This way, like if I'm saying something in part 8 or 9 where I'm like, oh, like when I said this before, you know what I mean? And hopefully I'm not really confused when I go to record something 3 hours from now, you know, after this part, and it's like, oh, wait, what? And I'm gonna forget the 2 hours in between this and the next time I have to record because all over the place, but anyway, for you guys, it's fine. For me, it's going to be a little confusing, but anyway. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.